That's not good. Hello and welcome to Morgan's Miles. Well, this time I'm trying to solve a water leak. I've realised that the carpets in the boot of the P6 are going mouldy. Never a good thing, number one. Number two, it means that steel underneath is getting wet, and I have no idea how well it's been painted or if it's got any form of rust prevention whatsoever going on in there. So it's all got to come out. Let's find out what's going on and then let's fix the leaks. How hard can it be? There's definitely a leak in this boot, and as you can see, yeah, I've got a feeling it's coming through here, looking at the mould build-up that's around this, which I think is the where you have the continental style rear wheel attached, which currently isn't there. So I'm going to take all of that off and see where we get to, but I need to dry all this lot out and then give it a coat of something to stop the rust from getting any worse. And yeah, then I need to find a way of drying out these carpets and then giving them a very, very deep clean, because they are, as they say in technical terms, minging. So I've applied some Genolite rust converter to some of the worst affected areas. I'll have to see if that's actually going to do any good, because this Genolite is, I'm actually kind of not sure when I bought it. It might have been a significant time ago, but we shall see. Anyway, we'll leave it for the prescribed amount of time, and then I will give it a blast over with some of the rust inhibiting primer I've got from DBX. Yeah, the Bulldog people. And then we'll think about putting a more suitable black, I suppose, over the top of that once it's all fully dried. I'm just going to hope that the weather holds, because if it doesn't, then we're back to square one, because that will start leaking again. Right, so let's give this a go. Okay, this is what happens when you use silicone sprays on things. Can you see those little dots? That there is where the paint has reacted with silicone. Super! So I've now got to let that dry. Sand it off, give it a clean with something that isn't silicone based, that will remove the silicone, and then we'll try again. Let's see what happens now. I think that'll do as a coat of primer. Right, well, that's the first coat of the satin black over the top of the rust-proof primer. That looks significantly nicer. Yeah, that'll do for now. I think we'll get another coat on there hopefully by the end of today. And thanks to the lovely people on the Rover P6 group. I've managed to get the badge off, and as you can see, it's pretty revolting around here. So this is all going to need a good clean up. It's clearly been leaking around the badge, and when we go inside you'll see the state of the badge. this is the badge that sits on the top of the boot, and in fact this is actually a cover for the it's actually supposed to have a boot mounted spare wheel. I'm not a massive fan of boot mounted spare wheels, if I'm really honest with everybody. I know some people think it looks really cool, I personally don't. So as you can see, there's a gasket here which is absolutely sodden with water, and there's the remains of this silicone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick all of that silicone off, and I'm going to try and dry this gasket out, because yeah, it's not going to seal properly if it's full of water. Then what I've just bought is I've actually just bought some more silicone sealant, and I'm just going to slather the bejesus out of that, and hopefully that will stop the water getting in. Happy days. And so that's with the second coat on. It's now drying. It's probably a little bit shinier than it'll end up, but it's looking a darn sight better than it did when I first started this morning. I'm quite pleased with that, actually, as it goes. Yeah. So now all I've got to do is do something about the carpets. As you saw, they were pretty rotten, and I think I don't really want to have to spend 125 quid on a new set of carpets for the boot, because it feels like a bit of a waste. So what I'm going to try doing to start off with is I'm going to try giving them a carpet clean, because, well, how much worse can I make them? And then we'll see what they're like after that. Also, oh, that's a very satisfying noise. The badge is back on. I've actually taken some advice from the guys on the P6 forum, and there's a bead of silicone around the seal, on both sides of the seal. And then what I've also done is where it bolts to the metal of the boot lid, there's like around the edge of the alley, I've actually run a little bit of a bead of silicone around that, just in case there's anything creeping underneath. Let's hope that's solved that one. But I don't really want to have to change the boot lid, because although it's got the wrong badges on the back, and that one keeps falling off, those rust lines that you can see on there actually will polish off. They're no bother at all. And then I do need to get some nicer plates, because they are not very nice at all. Right, so this now calls for a new tool. Now, the carpets are minging, so they need cleaning. I don't actually possess a carpet cleaner. Now, having watched how good Matt from Furious Driving made the carpets on, and the seats for that matter, on the Mondeo when he rescued that, I think there's only one thing for it. I'm going to go off and buy a Bissell. I mean, I can't make them any worse, can I? Can I? Anyway, yeah, off to Argos then. And I'm back. So I have a bit of a challenge in that we've assembled the Bissell, and it's fab. It's lovely. I'm going to cut to a B-roll now. Yeah, now the challenge is going to be that I can't operate a camera and the Bissell, and so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to rope in Morgan Jr. to hold the camera. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, I believe it makes quite a lot of noise from the little test that I've just done outside. Oh well, let's see how we go with it. Now that really isn't what I wanted to see. We got water pooling there. Okay, so it's coming down there and it's coming down there. Okay. Alright, well at least I now know roughly where I'm going to be doing the next round of water leak work. So I think probably the next thing I'm going to need to do is probably take that rear cover off, which looks like it's only held on with those 3 fixings along there. And then, well, we'll take that off and see if I can find where the holes are that that's coming in from. Right, I'm going to get in out of this horrible rain. Dang it! Bother. Well, okay. It looks like I've solved one of the leaks, but there seem to be 2 more. So not quite sure what they're going to be, whether they're actually going to be rust holes or whether they're going to be something that's just a bolt that's maybe it's tracking down, and because they don't look like they're particularly big leaks, but they're, I mean, because it's been raining this morning. Actually, I'm not quite sure when it started raining, sometime during the night. Anyway, so whilst the cleaning of the carpets has been very successful, they're actually drying out behind me, and they are looking mighty fluffy actually. I'm quite pleased with that. I'll cut to a B-roll in a moment. The work that I've done in the boot, more to do. Damn. Oh well, at least this way I'm catching it now before it gets too bad, and I've been very lucky that there aren't any holes that I need to fix. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's show, and if you have rather, please like and subscribe. Makes a big difference, and I'll see you in the next video. Probably the next one is going to be I'm going to the NEC Classic Car Show, up at the restoration show rather, up at the NEC, and I'm going to take some video and I'll put it up and you can have a look and see what you're missing. Alright, thanks for joining me, and be seeing you.